State Representative Jeremy Shaffer with another Shaffer Spotlight. Today we're in Richland Township at Black Dog Stables. We're here joined with Sarah and Megan. Thank you for having us here.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Now, Sarah, can you tell us, you're the owner of this. Can you tell us a little bit about when you got started and what you do here?
Absolutely. We are a riding lesson program. My husband and I purchased the farm in 2017. We started offering some riding lessons to the local public in early 2018. I've been a rider since I was a kid. My aunt had horses. I started taking lessons, I think, when I was 8 or 9, got my first horse at 15, and have kind of worked off and on as a little kind of side hustle, doing riding lessons at different places and at friends' barns. So when we purchased the farm here, we were really excited to share it with the community. And I started doing a handful of lessons here or there with a couple of horses. I think at that point I had 2 or 3 horses. And then the program grew really, really quickly. We brought Megan on in 2019. So about a year and a half later, I was doing all of the work myself and all the lessons myself. And I'm a high school teacher during the day. So it got a little crazy, but we were excited that people were so interested in what we were doing here. We like to consider ourselves, I think, kind of like a foundational program. We are a great place for kids and families, or even adults who want to get into riding a little bit later in their lives. We're a great starting point. We have a lot of really safe, well-trained horses that we use for lessons. And we're big believers in, and I'll let Megan talk about this a little bit more, but big believers in the educational aspect of horses, and that our program is far more than just a riding lesson program, but really teaches people how to be well-rounded equestrians.
Now, Megan, I hear you have a unique kind of like a 6-step process or 6-level process. Can you tell us a little about if someone wanted to learn more about horses, to learn how to ride, what would that look like here?
Yeah, so our program, I love its uniqueness because we teach not only how to ride, but how to work with the horse and how to handle the horse and take care of the horse on the ground. Mm-hmm. So we have a 6-level system where every level has riding skills our students have to master and what we call unmounted skills or horsemanship skills. So learning how to brush the horse, learning how to notice if the horse doesn't feel good or if they have a common kind of ailment going on. That way they kind of develop into good horse owners and not just good horse riders.
Oh, great. Now, Sarah, if I understand during the summer or other times of the year you offer camps, so that could be a good introductory way. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So we do week-long summer camps. In the summertime, we do usually 5 weeks of camps. They are almost a kind of a mini version of our riding program. So we cram a lot of learning and a lot of riding and a lot of knowledge into that week. Students learn how to take care of the horses from the time that they start the first day of camp. They learn what they eat. They learn how we lead them safely. They learn how to groom them, how to take care of them. We talk about ailments. How do we know if a horse isn't feeling well? They learn the basics of riding. So we start, foundationally, how do we ask a horse to go? How do we ask a horse to stop? But we focus a lot, too, on horse body language. How can we tell what our horse is feeling or thinking? Or we don't want our students, even from those first camps, to be thinking, I'm the boss of this horse and I'm telling the horse what to do. We focus on that partnership between horse and rider. We do crafts, we play games, we have a lot of fun. But what we're really proud of, I think, is that in that week, you get a really clear idea of if your kid really has the horse bug, because if they leave on Friday and they were a little teary-eyed and they want to know when they can come back, you've got a kid that doesn't just like horses, but maybe they really love it.
So Megan, if one of these kids wants to take lessons, then what type of time commitment would it be if they're doing a weekly lesson?
Yeah, so all of our students start off in private 45-minute lessons. That way it's one-on-one interactions with me, so that they can kind of really feel comfortable and confident. I can be there with them every step of the way. But then as they progress, especially with our system, eventually they can kind of come early and get their horse ready on their own, and they have a little more confidence handling the horse. Then their lessons might jump up to hour-long group lessons. Yeah. And all of our students at this point ride once a week. Okay. That's probably the most common. Sometimes in the summer, students will ride twice a week. And the commitment can be anywhere for as long as the student is interested for years, so the learning never ends.
Now, Sarah, people don't have to own their own horse here. You provide the horses. Can you tell us a little bit about the horses you have here?
Oh goodness, we have, yes, I would love to. So we don't do any boarding, which is something that we're a very small facility. We have 8 stalls, 9 stalls, and we're on a little bit less than 10 acres here. So we don't have the room really to board and really the interest to board. Our focus is really that educational, the riding component. It is a challenge to find a horse that has the interest and ability, is that fair, to be a lesson horse, right? Because these are horses that are going to be asked to be forgiving of a kid's mistakes. Yeah. These are horses that have to put up with if a kid loses their balance and they bump down on the horse, or they accidentally jerk on the reins, right, which are connected to the bit in the horse's mouth. So it takes a really special horse to be willing to be a lesson horse and be a school horse. We have a number of different levels of school horses, if that makes sense. Like, we have some horses that are very happy to walk around, follow Megan and I, and be very, very safe beginner horses, right? Where Megan and I really have the control of what's going on with that horse as the child or the student learns to do things themselves. And then we have horses that sort of progress up through the levels. So there are horses that I wouldn't put a beginner rider on, but once they've made it to a certain point, then that horse is the next growing, the next step up for that child.
So here we've got Bear, right? Bear. So tell me a little bit about Bear.
First of all, he's adorable.
Yeah.
Right, so he's oh, absolutely. Here. Okay. Yeah. So do you want to?
Yeah, I'll do a treat.
Okay. So
okay. What do I do?
Hands flat.
Hands flat.
Fingers together.
Fingers together. Bear, would you like it? There you go. Got it.
So Bear is a breed called, so just like with dogs, right? Yep. You've got your Labradors, you've got your Chihuahuas, you've got your Dobermans, you've got your Rottweiler, whatever, right? Yep. Lots of different breeds. Our horses are,
Bear's my friend now. He wants another one. Here you go, Bear.
There you go. It's like, this guy can visit us anytime. So just like with dogs, horses come in a variety of different breeds, and just like with dogs or cats, right? Breeds have different tendencies. They have different characteristics. Bear is a Haflinger. It is a breed that originated in the country of Austria as farming horses, right? Because if you look at him, he's a little bit shorter. He's actually pony-sized. He's got big stocky legs, which are accentuated right now because Megan clipped him last week so that he would be not as sweaty for us. But they're very like sure-footed and sturdy and easygoing and very willing to work and just kind of very amicable horses to be around. And somewhere along the line, people started to realize, like, oh, these make really wonderful family horses as well, because their temperaments are, they're sweet, they're gentle, they're really easygoing. And we found Bear. He was for sale at a local barn that does some sales. And I saw a little kid riding him in a video, and I thought, okay, that looks like a horse that would probably enjoy to be here. Bear is definitely on the slower side. He's a great beginner horse. When we have Girl Scout troops or camps that come through, he's one of our go-tos because he's very people focused. He's very happy to hang out with me or Megan or one of our teenage counselors and really keep our kids very safe. He's sweet to work around. Nice. He loves attention, loves to be brushed.
See what great personalities they all have.
Yeah,
and I hear, so you also have helped with horse rescues before, and
yeah, so I'm on the board of directors of a rescue called Flying Changes Equine Rescue. We're Pittsburgh-based and we're totally foster-based. We don't have a facility, so we have horses at different foster homes throughout the area. We generally have 1, maybe 2 Flying Changes fosters here at the barn. We actually just adopted a horse named Ella last weekend to a little girl named, not little, she's 15, but a teenager named Morgan. So we usually, we'll have 1 or 2 here. And sometimes they're horses that we get in through like neglect situations or starvation situations or things like that. We have helped Allegheny County with some seizure situations and have been involved with some of that. But oftentimes too, it's people who can't take care of their horse anymore for a variety of reasons. Maybe it's financial and they're struggling. Maybe I just took a phone call today from a woman who needs help rehoming some horses because she's in her 70s and she just can't do the daily care anymore. So it's a lot of different, you think rescue and you think neglect or you think abuse, and we do deal with some of that, but it's a lot more kind of helping people. And horses are expensive.
Yeah.
They're expensive and they take a lot of work to maintain. So a lot of times we're kind of helping people in those situations as well.
So if someone's interested in signing up for camp or taking private lessons, where can they go? How can they learn more about this?
So we have a website. It's www.blackdogstablespgh.com. And we do some posting on Facebook. We have a Facebook page. I think between both of those places, especially Facebook, you can see really what it feels like to be here at the barn. I try to do posts about camps and posts about lessons, or when students reach a new level in the riding program, Megan or I will post a picture of them and updates of the kids. And so you can get a pretty good feel for what we do that way.
So Megan, what's the youngest students that you take? And then also, is there maybe an ideal age? As a parent, like if I thought my kids might want to do some horseback lessons and learn about horses, what's the youngest they can do that? Or maybe what's the age that you recommend that they do that?
So I've always kind of said around 6 years of age. Okay. I know we have students as young as 4 for our tiny tots program.
We'll take some little ones, sometimes, but usually for
the lessons, I would say around 6. But every child is different, Like I've had 6-year-old students that, we just repeat the same lesson every week for the first year, and if that's okay with the student and the parent, then we'll keep doing that just to build kind of confidence and comfort around the horse. And I've had other students that, ask what they can do at home, and they practice things at home, and they move right up the levels even at that young age. So it definitely is child-based.
Well, great. Well, it was a pleasure to talk with both of you. Thank you for having me here. It was great to be able to meet you and the horses and the other animals here. This has been another Shaffer Spotlight from Black Dog Stables in Richland Township. As always, if you have any questions or concerns or needs, please don't hesitate to contact one of our offices. We have our Gibsonia office on 910 and Middle Road and our Wexford office in Brooktree. Thank you and have a great day.